there for uplift.
To uplift.
And to spread the culture worldwide. That's the Caribbean.
Melbourne motivation gon' give you a sponsor. You know the vibes that they under. We dey do this from our answer. Come on, we empower black brothers to get stronger. We dey uplift.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Melbourne Motivation Radio Show on Irie Jam Radio. Now, this is where we spotlight the next generation of Caribbean excellence through our signature segment, Young Leaders of the Diaspora. Now, today's guest is proof that entrepreneurship has no age limit. At just 16 years old, Brooklyn native with proud Jamaican roots, Raheem Bourne is already building a business with vision, purpose, and ownership at the center. Raheem is the founder of ORGAMY, a growing household products brand focused on bringing more joy and efficiency to everyday cleaning. He's also preparing to take his business on the international stage in Jamaica, where he'll compete, get this, alongside students from 15 other countries for a chance to win $20,000. Raheem, welcome to Melbourne Motivation Radio Show. How are you doing? How are you feeling today?
Feeling great, feeling prepared, feeling ready.
I love it. No, I'm super excited to have you. And, I want to start with your roots, Raheem. You were born and raised in Brooklyn, of Jamaican heritage. And many of us know growing up in a Caribbean household often comes with strong values, discipline, education, ambition. And so I want to ask, how did your upbringing and Caribbean roots influence the way you think about education, entrepreneurship at such a young age?
Yes, growing up in a very strong Caribbean household, there's definitely certain morals that we uphold in terms of character and mannerism. And I can definitely say that there's certain things that I've been through and the certain ways that I've been grown that has allowed me to embrace my independence a lot more and allowed me to mature so much more than others that are usually my age. So just that overall idea of how I've been able to gain my maturity has allowed me to develop and delve more into my passion for entrepreneurship, because ever since a young age, I've always been very confident in entrepreneurship overall. And I felt like just having Caribbean parents that actually taught me good morals and knowing how to actually carry yourself in society is what allowed me to really have confidence in pursuing my path and truly wanting to actually create change and thinking about how I want to position myself for the future. But definitely, yes.
Those morals that you just mentioned, you're taking those values and you're putting it into business. Can you just tell us about your company, ORGAMY? What did you identify in household product space, and what solution are you bringing to the market? And if you can also just tell us, what are some of the products that you're offering?
For sure. So ORGAMY is my business, my proudly owned business. And so basically ORGAMY is a home cleaning business. And the overall idea of my company is to put conveniency back into cleaning. A lot of cleaning companies, they tend to create products to just churn out, and they don't necessarily think about the actual experience of their customers in terms of how they clean. And a lot of the average products are just made out of cheap materials or just poorly designed. And it doesn't really actually help or allow the experience of the cleaner to feel very exhilarating or satisfactory. So to give an example, currently in my company, my most recent product line is my ergonomic premium microfiber cloths. And for a lot of average microfiber cloths in different cleaning companies that they make, they usually don't have a level of absorbency, and they usually develop a lot of dirt and clump very easily. But what sets my premium microfiber cloths apart is the fact that they have a high level of absorbency, and they're also lint free. So they don't actually develop a lot of dirt and clump when it comes to the kitchen space and surface cleaning and things like that. So it allows for my user to have more long-term kitchen cloths to use in terms of their entire experience and wanting to actually have something that's genuinely helping them instead of buying certain products that just come and go, if that makes sense. But yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's clear to tell your passion for this. Just let me say congratulations again, right?
Thank you so much.
You are in a space that, particularly when you think about the Caribbean community, we know that cleaning is serious business, right?
Sure,
And
for
you
sure.
mentioned their experience. And so I'm sure many of our listeners are smiling right now because we know on Saturday mornings it's a big experience cleaning, right?
Yes, of
But what's
course.
also interesting, Raheem, is that typically when we think about cleaning, you know, especially growing up Caribbean, the question is, are you done? Are you finished cleaning? Not often are we saying what was the safety of it, what was the experience of it, you know, how well designed are the cleaning tools that we're using. And so it really is extremely impressive to hear your thought process as you know, venture into household products. Congratulations again, man.
Thank you so much.
Well, here's the thing. You know, you're 16 years old, and I'm sure our listeners can hear your passion and your expertise, the way you broke down what you're doing. You're also now preparing to take your business on the international stage through a pitch competition in Jamaica. Can you just tell us more about this road to Jamaica journey, what this opportunity means to you, and what has it been like raising support and resources to make this experience possible?
So, to give a little bit of background, through my program in high school, Ownership is the Future, they help high school students manage and create their own business. And basically, me and my classmate George, who we both have our own businesses, we have been selected to pitch on a stage in Jamaica, mentioned earlier, against college students from 15 different countries. And we're going to be the only high schoolers there. So this Road to Jamaica launch is a 30-day challenge in the month of May, in which we are going to be posting content, enhancing our brand overall, creating new product lines just to kind of push our name out there, and also just develop overall company enhancement and reputation in order to earn our way there. So as I mentioned earlier, my one of my new product lines, which is my ergonomic premium microfiber cloths, those are one of the products that I'm going to be selling at different pop-up shops, advertising, and just pushing out to other people to help me actually earn my way there. Also, just for to overall just like help my business, my reputation, and create myself a name for the entire challenge. But yeah, so we've used the hype behind developing this international or global, I guess you could say, stance to allow our interpersonal growth with our own companies. But yeah.
Well, Raheem, I'm telling you, you don't sound 16 years old at all. I'm telling you, you don't sound 16 years old. This is amazing. This is amazing. Go 15 countries, only high schoolers in Jamaica. Like, this is an amazing experience. And I'm telling you, I'm sure many listeners, many of your colleagues are going to hear this and be inspired. And you said something very cool there. You said, me and my classmate, we're both business owners.
Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. You know, as someone that speaks professionally, one thing I can really respect, Raheem, is your willingness to step on a stage and to present your ideas publicly. Because many young people actually, you know, they struggle with confidence in public speaking. And so I do want to ask you this: what advice would you give to other students and young entrepreneurs about overcoming fear, confidently using their voice, and understanding that speaking opportunities can open real doors?
So I could definitely say that when it comes to public speaking, it is a very large fear, especially in America. But also, I guess you could say personally for me, I'm a very straightforward person. So I understand that there are a lot of people out there that have a lot of fear behind public speaking. But for me, more so, I kind of address the situation in a way where I don't allow the pressure to come to me. I think a lot of people tend to overcomplicate the level of nervousness that they get. But I think it's so important to understand that usually when you are public speaking, the crowd is there to support you and the crowd is there to listen to you. So I don't think people should always try to allow that pressure to really get to them because we're all human. We are communicating a very important message in public speaking usually, but at the same time, usually the crowd is always there to be proud of you, to always back you up. So, and they're also just people. Like it may be a large crowd, it may be very intimidating, but at the same time, it's just important to actually recognize that they're there for you and they're there to listen to you, they're there to respect you. So I think just that's one thing that you could definitely keep as a moral, or I guess you could say pinpointed focus in which you address a public speaking situation. But that's definitely some words that I could give.
Wow, no, Raheem, that's powerful. That's a powerful mental model. You know, the crowd is there to support you. They're there to listen to you. So to give your best. That's powerful. Thank you so much. And Raheem, do this for me. For our listeners who want to support your journey, whether by, following your brand, purchasing your products, or contribute to your Road to Jamaica effort, how can they connect with you?
So you could connect to me through my Instagram at Shop Orgamy. That is Shop ORGAMY. Or you could actually just go to our Road to Jamaica website, just roadtojamaica.com. And you could read about more background on the entire journey, see the other businesses of my other classmates. And if you're willing to, you could support me as well. We have all of our linked websites there where you could check out our websites, products, and things like that. And if you're willing to support, you could if you want. Yeah.
I appreciate that, Raheem. You're a part of a special generation of young entrepreneurs in your teenage years. So I have to ask this before we wrap. Is there anyone in your support system, family, mentors, teachers, friends that you would like to shout out who's helping you along this journey?
I'm definitely going to shout out my mom. She has been the number one supporter and the backbone of my journey, ensuring that I have a roof over my head, clothes on my back, food on my table, and just playing a great role model for me overall, becoming valedictorian of her high school, and just always just being there, being an anchor for me, despite how, sometimes Caribbean parents could be a little hard. Sometimes it could be a little nagging, they're always there. They always love you. They're always supporting you. And all the actions that they try to do and actually bring out to you is just for the greater good. So definitely my mom.
I love that. That resonates deeply, especially on the cusp of Mother's Day. Beautiful tribute. Big shout out to mommy. We're going to leave it there. Thank you so much, Raheem. I just want you to know this is the first time. I'm sure it won't be the last time that you're on Melbourne Motivation. And you know what stands out about Raheem's story is this: ownership starts with belief. And when young people are exposed to entrepreneurship early, they begin to see themselves not just as consumers of opportunity, but creators of it. Raheem, 16 years old, is already showing what is possible when discipline, vision, and Caribbean values come together. Congratulations. We're looking forward to continuing to support your journey, Raheem. And so, absolutely, ladies and gentlemen, to our listeners, please follow Raheem's journey, support his business, and continue investing in the next generation of entrepreneurs. This has been Melbourne Motivation Radio Show, and I'm your host, Miguel Anthony Melbourne, reminding you to stay motivated, inspired, and keep building. Be sure to visit Melbourne Motivation to stay in touch, melbournemotivation.com.
Right. And it's a Melbourne motivation around the Caribbean to uplift and assistance. We dey do this from a distance, yeah. No party, we dey do this the hard way. We keep motivating, elevating to a higher level.